This is rolling. Okay. My God. Hello, welcome to 646. My name's Dawson McManus. Thank you so much to Pet Rock Radio for putting this out. Thank you to Treblecock Studios for hosting the podcast in-house. And thank you so much to the sponsor of the show, Mad Sound Dynamics. Don't forget to use your promo code 646 at checkout at www.madsounddynamics.com. We have Aedan Shaughnessy in the studio today.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in, man. And thanks for... we juggled some stuff because last week...
Yeah.
There were technical issues, and as you can tell, we're still having them.
Still having a few, yeah.
Oh my God, you and I have been here for an hour and a half.
We have,
and we're just starting now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're gonna get there. You
Yeah.
know, every new
pull it together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every new project has kinks to be worked out, and I thank you very much for your patience.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about iambic pentameter earlier, and that sparked this thought, which was a very derpy poem that I wrote literally last night doing the dishes. It's called Weird.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, if you want to. You're the rapper.
Iambic pentameter, a paradoxical misnomer. Should roll out in fives, but that's incomplete. 2 more syllables comprise the device. Question, 7 seems a lot.
Kind of funny, right?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Iambic pentameter is speaking in fives, right? And it's supposed to be either 3 short, 2 short, or 2 short, 3 short. So 1 2 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 1 2 to emulate. It was originally like a Shakespearean device.
Yep.
To emulate natural human speech. But iambic pentameter is a 7-syllable word. And I was doing the dishes last night. And I was like, that's fucking weird. Yeah. And so I just wrote that down because I was like, oh, this is something cute for me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Those thoughts that cross the mind, you know?
Yeah, big time. So
right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
How about you, man? When you're coming up with rhymes and stuff, how do you...
My process?
Yeah.
My process is just like kind of when I'm inspired, I'll just kind of sit down and usually with the Notes app on my phone and just sit there and just flow. Yeah. Just kind of flow. Like it's not like about finding metaphors or anything for me. They often come up. Sure. But it's just, you know, crack snapple with a pack of Camels, caution at Sandy's, supple on the mantle. House coat slick, third eye open, beat so thick, Brody's cold spoken.
So when you first came up with that, was that just stream of consciousness?
Yes.
Or? Nice.
Yeah. So initially, like, it wasn't all the same lyrics.
Right.
Yeah. This is my song Aedan and Abetting from 2021 that I did with S.J. Riley, produced by Brody Stewart out of Toronto. Nice. And done at the old school downstairs Treblecock studio with Samara Johnson.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was fun, and that process actually came out of just a long process of like meditation and just chilling and grooving, and coming up with rhymes very much off the top of the dome.
Nice.
Yeah.
This isn't moving. There we go.
All right.
I was trying to get it onto you.
Oh,
you
okay.
were telling your story and it didn't work. Oh well. Let's just experiment real quick. I'm gonna look at the screen.
Number 6. Number 6.
Okay, so that one worked.
Yeah.
That.
All right.
Oh, it has changed my hotkeys.
Oh.
So, how did that? Okay, so there's me. That's on. Now I'm on the right. You're down.
Okay.
And we're up. So it is not what I had set it to.
Ah.
Man,
fascinating.
OBS is goofy. Everything keeps changing itself.
OBS sounds like a digestive disorder. Or a rapper.
Or, yeah. Oh, I don't see why they have to be mutually exclusive.
No, not at all.
It's a rapper with a bowel disorder.
Yeah, pretty much me.
Oh, yeah? Do you have IBS?
I don't, well, not necessarily, but I did have rectal cancer.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You bounce back so well quickly that I forgot.
Exactly.
But there was like a whole... Dude, there was a GoFundMe for you?
There was a GoFundMe, yeah. There was a whole thing. I had time off work. Yeah, thank you very much, by the way. Yeah.
And there was a fundraiser gig, too.
There was a fundraiser gig back in February of 2023 at the Gordon Best Theater. Sarah Jane Riley played, the Mickeys played, Lisa Canavitt played, and Brody Stewart.
Right.
Yeah.
I was somewhere with a band. I remember wanting to be there, but I was already booked and I couldn't get it off.
All good. I couldn't be there because I was very sick at the time. Yeah.
Yes.
But I've actually got an interesting story about how in this very building I made the call that I ended up discovering the cancer.
No way.
Yeah. So downstairs, I was working for Pet Rock at the time as the morning guy. And I put on a 20-minute block of songs, and I went to the bathroom, and I saw something objectionable after I went to the bathroom.
Sure.
I don't want to get into too many details, but I saw something a little scary and called my doctor, and then the process was set up to have a colonoscopy and all of those things. And I would encourage anyone who has a family history of colorectal cancer to get a colonoscopy as early as your 30s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's in my family we have a history of cancer as well, specifically prostate.
Yeah.
And colon, so both of them.
Yeah.
And my dad has ulcerative colitis.
Oh man.
And he had it in the 80s too, right?
Yeah.
When it was real bad, required long-term surgery. Like they didn't. Now they can take stuff out and put it back in.
Right.
They weren't able to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Almost 40 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So he's missing a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been getting the old finger check for some time now. So, and I should have been on you when you were telling that story.
And then you for you.
And then when I was telling the bum story about
about
getting my bum checked, should have done that. And then, no?
There we go.
There we go. Continue, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I discovered it in the downstairs bathroom.
That's so crazy.
In the downstairs bathroom at the old Treble Clock studio, doing Pet Rock Radio.
That's so wild.
So it's a full circle moment for me right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then received treatment in Oshawa, Peterborough, and Kingston. So I had radiation therapy at Lake Ridge in Kingston, or Lake Shore, Lake Ridge, something like that, in Lake Shore Hospital in Kingston, or in Oshawa, and then chemotherapy in Peterborough, and then 2 surgeries in Kingston. So I had an initial surgery that removed the cancer and installed an ileostomy bag. So I had an ileostomy bag for 7 months, and then back to Kingston, had the ileostomy reversed. And let me tell you, those first 18 hours or so was like about 18 times going to the bathroom after that surgery was reversed. It was pretty harrowing. Yeah. But out of hospital and back to work by March of last year. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of people might not know what an ileostomy is. It's when you should probably explain what it is.
So an ileostomy is very similar to a colostomy bag. It occurs on the right side of the body. I actually have a scar from it right here. And it carries urine and feces out of the body from the front. So it's a very interesting process. When it fills up, you just kind of like empty it at a toilet.
Yeah. Because it bypasses so the reason it's called an ileostomy is it bypasses the ilia versus when you said, so colostomy bypasses the colon.
Yes.
So just for anybody wondering what that means, it helps to, you're bypassing the affected area that is either undergoing some kind of treatment or surgery or something like that.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
No. I can't get back to you. Oh, yes I can. That is you.
This is me. This is me. This is right where we are.
Yeah, I gotta get used
Here
to
is
this.
where we are.
Yeah, we are here. Dude, yeah, it's heavy duty. So my old man has an ileostomy. So very familiar with the process, which is why I was saying I've been going for regular booty checks for quite some time, which, as you very rightly stated, everybody should be doing it if there's history.
If there's history, yeah. And if you have a first connection relative, like a brother, a sister, father, mother, that kind of thing, it should be 10 years before their diagnosis that you start getting checked out. So my siblings have already been checked out with I can't even remember the name of it. That colonoscopies. Colonoscopies. Yeah.
The camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Those are interesting, and I think it's the fasting that's worse than the actual procedure.
Yeah.
Like the fasting's brutal, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the food part of it doesn't bother me that much. It's the liquid stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like right before, where it's like, at least for me, it was like, don't have liquids. Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah.
How long is it?
4 hours, I think.
4 hours?
Yeah.
4 hours of no liquid. That's the brutal bit.
Super brutal.
Which makes you think about, like, fighters when they
Yeah.
have to do their water cut. Like, holy shit, dude. That is insane. And they're in the sauna, and they've got those plastic bags, those thermal suits on that make them just dump water. Ugh. Brutal. Brutal. But yeah, it's thank you for sharing that. It's
absolutely.
I think it's important for people to check up on that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
Your health is kind of all you've got.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you
it's the
are
baseline.
now.
Yeah.
Extraordinarily aware, probably more than most. Without your health, nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. Like, yeah. Open mind for different view. Almost made you do a spit take in front of the tech.
Yeah. As soon as I said nothing else matters, it's like, is there going to be a Metallica reference now? And then immediately, didn't miss a beat. In 4/4 even. Well done. Oh, the Black Album, baby.
Yeah.
God, I learned every song off of that record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's me with Pink Floyd The Wall.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was obsessed with that record.
Too. Yeah. Oh my God.
That and Dark. Wow, they're four. What are your big Floyd albums other than obviously The Wall?
Metal.
Else? Yeah. Oh,
Metal.
Okay.
Animals.
Yes.
Ooh, it's so hard.
I know, right?
Metal, Animals, The Wall. You got to go Dark Side.
You got it.
I think it's so complete.
It is
so complete.
It's about as close to a perfect album.
Yeah.
That and The Wall for me are for Floyd. Those are pretty fucking perfect records.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm also a huge fan of Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
That and
I mean, you can't go wrong with Wish You Were Here as well.
Yeah,
like
so
it's just so incredible.
The whole thing is so killer.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Machine.
Yeah.
Have a cigar.
2 chords crunching throughout that whole thing, right? Yeah.
But
it's very easy to play, but very hard to like make sound the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of tunes like that on the surface are quite simple. But, I mean, take almost any Chuck Berry song. Surface level, incredibly easy.
Yeah.
Like 75% of them are
like 12 bars. It's all 12 bars.
Yeah, it's all 12-bar blues.
Yeah.
But everything's just a little different than the last one. And that's not even talking about changing keys. And a lot of them are in B flat. Like, oh, fuck, ton of them are in B flat. But still, every head is a little different. And those, like, they're just little things. Did you ever watch the documentary Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll?
No, I haven't.
No? Oh,
no.
dude, you should check it out.
I will.
It's really cool. Keith Richards is playing with Chuck Berry, and they're trying to do... Oh, my God, I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember which tune it is right now. But there's... some people call it a ghost bend. It's when the note is pre-bent, and you come down into it. So instead of booey... Or like boo-you, which is what Keith Richards kept doing. It's so it starts before you hit, and then you drop back down into the whatever the note would have been.
Almost like a bit of a theremin sound.
Kind of, yeah. It's a very vocal technique to use on the guitar, and Keith kept playing the note straight, then bending, then coming back down to straight, and Chuck kept stopping. And then he's like, "You want to get it right now? You want to get it right?" And it's just, and they were getting so heated with each other. He's like, "I'm playing it." He's, "No, you're not." Fun story too about those two. The first time they met, Chuck was in his car with a lady. I guess Keith didn't know there was a lady in there with him. Keith went out, kind of followed him through the parking lot, knocked on the window of the car to tell him what a profound influence he had on his entire playing career. And Chuck gets out of the car, listens to him tell him what a hero he is to him, and then punches him in the face and knocks him over. And it's like, never fucking interrupt me when I'm with a woman. And gets back in the car with the gal. Crazy, dude. Crazy. That dude was a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, he's got there are some things in his past that are a little undesirable.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Fair. Yeah. Actually, to tie things back in, do you know the Chuck Berry London sessions? Like when he did a live album from London?
I'm aware of them.
Okay, so he did the Chuck Berry London sessions, and at the very end of the album, you can hear like a PA announcer guy come out, and he basically says, "All right, that was Chuck Berry. You must exit the stadium now. Pink Floyd is about to come in. We have a second concert. You must exit. Pink Floyd is coming out now." So it was like, I think 1972 or something. So Pink Floyd would have been doing like Dark Side material at this point.
Yeah.
So can you imagine getting a double bill to see Chuck Berry not open for Pink Floyd, but Chuck Berry play a headline?
Yeah.
And then they vacate the stadium, and then Pink Floyd comes in.
That's so crazy. That's a while back to back.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, sometime in 1972 in London.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen much to the Syd Barrett era stuff?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
How
did.
did you feel about that?
I like it. It's a whole different kettle of fish. It's a completely different thing. It's like an entirely different band.
Yes.
Basically. Yeah. And for people who don't like the heavily produced Pink Floyd stuff of the 1970s, which is not a lot of people, but I do know them.
Sure.
They might latch on to the Syd Barrett stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the very heavily produced stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Dark Side specifically, that was Alan Parsons.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
How do you not? Well, I guess if you like stuff a little more raw, maybe it's not for you. But god damn, man,
so good.
It is so.
Parsons used to do those live mixes, like back when that was an art. Well, I mean, it's still an art, but it's when that was common practice. He used to do those live mixes that were just
unreal,
untouchable. Yeah.
And it was a different ball of wax back then too, because you're physically doing everything, and if you didn't have enough hands, you had to have more people with you to push all the faders at a certain time, and it's like, and if you fucked it up, you had to do it again, but you only got so many tries because it's all on tape, and every time, as I'm sure you're aware, every time you re-record, the tape degradates and the sound quality on the playback reduces.
Yeah.
So, man,
intense.
Like you had to really be on your shit to be one of those cats. Now with digital, we can redo. Punch-ins are a fucking breeze.
Yeah.
Automation's super. You can just go click, 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 and you've got all kinds of really wicked shit happening.
Yeah,
it's just a whole other. It's a different game. It's a different game back then than it is now. And honestly, it's kind of going that way with live performance as well. Oh, that's you.
That's me. It's you.
Sorry, I know I'm messing around with it because it's new. And
it's all good.
It's
like the Jerry Todd show on SCTV. Did you ever watch SCTV?
Oh man, a long time ago.
Yeah. So this is a Rick Moranis thing. Like he had like all the old school like 1980s tech stuff, and he was just like playing with the bells and whistles and mixing it up. And actually, Rick Moranis played a lot of the different characters on the Jerry Todd show.
Oh, nice!
Because he was able to just like fade in and out of pre-recorded segments, like doing the tech.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis was such a badass.
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you know why he got out of acting?
I heard some story like he was attacked, or his family was attacked, or something.
Sort of. So he got attacked in New York not too long ago, just randomly punched out on the street, walking down the road. 2 years ago, maybe now.
Oh wow!
So that was really recent. From what I understand, I might be wrong. Somebody fact check me on this, but what I understand is that his wife passed away.
Oh man!
And so he quit acting to take care of his kids.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow, that's noble.
It is. Super.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I have been told, and I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
A lot of
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. 100%. But also, when you're told a story, you just go, I believe you, and you never look into it.
Yeah. If only there was objective truth these days.
God. That feels like a trap.
Yeah. Can you tell I'm also a radio host?
Yeah.
CanAedan, Trent Radio, 92.7 CFFF FM on Mondays at 5.
That's right. And thank you. Actually, you had me on your show not
long
ago, and it was so much fun. That's actually why we're doing this now.
Yeah.
We had a blast, and we ended up having to cut like an hour out of the show.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing from start to finish, from intro song to outro song, is what, an hour-ish?
Yeah.
Or just under because of commercial breaks?
Yeah.
So, dude, I had to cut so much stuff that I did not want to cut out. Mm-hmm. But I was like,
there was a tutorial on time signature that you did that was particularly fascinating.
Oh,
I think made the cutting floor. It was on the cutting room floor.
It hit the cutting room floor. Yeah. You know, I could probably do it now.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. All right. There's a guitar right there.
All right.
Hang on. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'll be right back. It was about money. But
Pink
Floyd.
Yeah.
Off of
Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah.
I don't know how in tune this thing is.
Okay.
It was also had to deal with the. Ow! I just hit myself.
Oh man.
It also had to deal with the chord progression within it. Too.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of interesting things.
And we're talking about Chuck Berry. There's like some influence there as well.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Whoa. There we go. Ooh. Really?
Goodbye, cruel world.
Nice. But the thing that I was talking about was that I don't know how well that's coming through on this, but when we were talking about it on the show, I was talking about how when I was young, I would always play it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1, which totally works if you're only thinking about the bass.
Mm-hmm.
Does not work if you're thinking about literally every other instrument on the recording.
It's true. It's tricky.
Which, let's see if I can do it. Is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2. Nope. See, I fucked it up. Where did I get turned around? 1 and most of that was right, but there's the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1. That's it. That should be 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1. No. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1
and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
It should be 2 bars of 7 followed by a bar of 6, then 2 bars of 4.
Wow.
And that repeats twice, and then the next time around is a bar of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. So then it should be a bar of 7 followed by 2 bars of 4, then a bar of 6.
Wow.
So it sort of reverses itself.
Yeah.
Which and then the other thing that we were talking about within that was the chord progression. So that
yeah. Yeah.
So it's in B minor. That first one. That's the one chord.
Yeah.
Then that's the 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Back to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it hangs on the 1 for a lot.
Yeah.
And then that's just the one chord, like the whole time, basically. It's a B minor 7. And then in that turnaround, it goes to the F which is in F minor, F sharp minor. Then it goes to the E minor.
Yeah.
And then back to the B minor 7, essentially.
Nice.
It's a blues.
Yeah.
It's just a blues tune.
Yeah.
Which, if you were to take that, instead of making it minor and made it major, and instead of being in 7 and put it in 4 and give it a shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah. Money! It's away. Get a good job with more pay and you're okay. Money! It's a gas. Grab that cash with both hands, make a stash. New car, caviar, full-star daydream. Think about me a football team.
There's your Chuck Berry, right? Isn't that hilarious? By the way, well done, sir. That was dope. So, but like, isn't that crazy, everybody? Isn't that fucking cool?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
And you can take it a step further, too, and you can get into weird shit. Like...
Oh, yeah. Tool, right?
So...
Yeah.
That is D minor from the Dorian mode.
Yeah.
This has got the minor 7 with the major 6, so there's your wow, that's a minor. No, sorry, it's not Dorian. That's a minor 6. I think. Because that's a minor 2. Sorry, so far it's Aeolian. There's your 4 chord there. That's when it gets to the G. So it's like 1, 4, 1, and then it goes to flat 7. But that's, you could argue that that's just a D minor 7, and then it gets to the, which is the 5. So 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 1, 5. It's still just a blues.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah,
fascinating.
man.
Everything is rooted in that.
Yeah.
There's so many things are rooted in that.
So much.
Yeah.
So much of rock and roll,
Mm.
no matter how contemporary it is it's going to be based off of that slightly.
Yeah.
It kind of has to be.
Yeah.
Which is fucking fun.
Yeah.
You know, so.
To do black music so selfishly and use it to get myself wealthy.
Is that yours?
That's Eminem.
Oh. I don't know shit, man. Well.
Hey, I don't know shit when it comes to the extrapolation of the blues. Man, that's incredible.
Isn't that cool, though?
It's very cool. It's very cool. That's a TED Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Eminem was right, though.
Yeah.
He was right. He's right about hip hop, and he's right about rock and roll. He's right about the blue. Like that can be extrapolated to, like, I would say at least 70% of modern music.
Yeah.
Is all stolen from specifically poor black artists, and the real heavy hitters came out of the Delta. And like, if you think about
Muddy Waters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, even before that, Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, that was the guy that spawned the whole Crossroads legend.
Yeah.
Right? And which is shit you want to talk about kind of heavily inspiring everybody. From that was done, his recordings were done in the 30s, right? one of the most famous versions of that was by Cream in the 70s, maybe late 60s. Might have been late 60s.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Okay.
Because we got to fact check this. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did Cream do? Sorry, this is super interesting for everybody. When did Cream record Crossroads? 68.
68.
So,
okay.
I said 70s.
Yeah.
Is very late 60s.
Yeah.
So, 30 plus years later, it's still in the common zeitgeist, And then, and shit, man, we're getting pretty close to 2030.
We are.
We're 5 years away, so almost 100 years later,
that's unbelievable.
People are still talking about it.
That's incredible.
Which is so crazy when you think about the recording technology of the time when they were doing Robert Johnson's shit. The recording technology of the time was basically a tin can with a string on it.
Yeah.
And 100 years later, people are still like, what the fuck, man? How is this so good? Because from the technical perspective, it's definitely there, but there's this weird emotional thing that this intangible that is so present that it's inexorable from that collection of recordings that he put out.
The rawness of it all.
Yeah, big time, hugely raw. And so I don't know, when you're writing your stuff, does that come into it? Like, where do you get most of your influence from?
My influence would be, I think, primarily the first thing that comes to mind is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5.
I'm not familiar.
Okay,
that's
so
a great name.
Yeah, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, 1982. They did a record called The Message.
Okay.
And The Message, you may not have heard of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, but you have definitely heard the riff.
Okay.
It's like, so do you know "Check Yourself" Before You Wreck Yourself by Ice Cube?
Vaguely.
Jiggity check yourself before you wreck yourself.
I'm familiar with the hook, but I can't think of the instrumental.
But the backing instrumental is from 1982's "The Message" by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, and the rhyming on that track is the major influence for how I style my stuff. Yeah. So I think we're talking like South Bronx. Early days of hip hop, like coming out of disco, coming out of intersecting a little bit with punk rock, which I think is very cool because Blondie was like a kind of a bridge between communities there in New York, bringing the kids from South Bronx into Manhattan for warehouse parties and stuff like that.
I was just gonna say the connection between a lot of those cats and this is now not. There it goes. Jesus Christ. The hotkeys have changed themselves again.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, but the connection between the block parties in the South Bronx and the punk scene at CBGB's are there are seriously deep ties that a lot of people might be.
There's a lot of allyship there and a lot of cross pollination between the musicians, which I think is very cool. You think of the first rap song to be a #1 was actually "Rapture" by Blondie.
Really?
Yeah, because she has a verse on it.
Right.
She has a verse, and I think Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash is in that, and she references Grandmaster Flash in that song. Shit. Yeah, so it's very ensconced in hip hop culture, which is really cool. And some at the time may have said that Blondie was appropriating it, but I think she was a genuine ally to the hip hop community and wanted to bring that form of black music to the forefront.
Yeah, well, I really think there's a big. There we go. I think there's a big difference between appropriation and inspiration.
Yes.
I think if you genuinely care about the style and you wear it on your sleeve and you don't try to hide the fact, some people will try to profess they came up with this all on their own, which is that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know where you got that from.
Yeah.
I know that for me specifically, a lot of my writing influences are heavily steeped in the blues.
Yeah.
I would never try to hide that shit.
Yeah.
And so many of those cats, B.B. King or Albert King or any of the Kings.
Any of the Kings.
Any of the Kings, for that matter. Fucking T-Bone Walker. Fucking, like, all these dudes. Buddy Guy is a big one.
Oh, I was just thinking Buddy Guy. I was going to say Buddy Guy. I wanted to contribute, but yes, Buddy Guy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, dude. I love Buddy Guy. Actually, there was a show I did with Emily at Roy Thompson Hall.
Yeah.
And we performed a little bit earlier, and then Buddy headlined it.
That's incredible.
And he's one of my all-time favorite blues artists. And my favorite song of his is called Skin Deep. I don't know if you know the track.
I may have heard it.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Dude, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. And I was like, oh my God, if he plays Skin Deep, I'm going to start crying. And I bawled my eyes out. I was just like, because I'm such a child. I couldn't help it, though. It was so good.
Yeah.
And he's the fucking man. And so I think for somebody like Blondie that just loves that genre, or Eminem for that matter, you know, I don't think he ever pretended that he invented his style. Like that genre is rap.
It's rap,
and, you know, and which is very different than, say, Elvis Presley as an example, and I'm going to catch some heat for this, and I apologize to anybody that is a massive fan, but there are some things that you should probably know. He didn't write any of those tunes. You know, people have no idea who Big Mama Thornton is, and her version of Hound Dog way predates Elvis's, and hers is a slow shuffle. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right? Yeah, exactly that feel, right?
Yeah.
And she was a badass. She used to, dude, she pulled, it was either, now I might be getting the story a little screwed up, but she either pulled a straight razor or it might have been a small pistol on Sonny Boy Williamson, if I'm not getting the story completely wrong. But she wanted some harmonica tricks that he was doing, and he basically told her to take a hike. So it was either a gun or a blade that she pulled on. She's like, you're going to fucking tell me how you do that. He's like, yes, ma'am. Or so the story goes.
Oh, wow.
And, like, there's so many, man, there's just so many artists that don't get their due. And that, to me, that is a lot more appropriation than inspiration.
It's egregious, too.
Yeah,
like,
big time. Now, I'm not blaming Elvis for it necessarily. I think probably a lot of that was from the record label that, you know, or just like, here, sing this song, and he probably had no idea where it was coming from, especially when he was really heavy into that era of pills that he was doing. Probably had no idea. Although, he never asked. He probably didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, which is a drag. And, you know, there's... Okay, here's where I would draw the big difference for dudes not too far apart. Tom Jones. Yeah. Inspiration. Yeah. Openly admits that Wilson Pickett is his favorite singer of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Who was like, I invented this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff about Clapton, too, that I'm not fully aware of. Like what that scenario was, but he kind of takes credit for like his own stuff as being original and not derivative.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I have seen Eric Clapton live, and he's phenomenal.
He's
one
great,
of the greatest.
But I mean, I can see how derivative might feel insulting.
Yeah.
But 100% original. I mean, you didn't come up with a fucking 1-4-5 chord progression, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now, some of his other stuff that wasn't so 100% blues based. Okay.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they did with Cream was definitely a different take on how that stuff had maybe been done before.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, same thing with like the Stones. Like they brought in Howlin' Wolf. They actually brought him on TV because I don't know if you know the story, but I think it was at was it Sun Records or it might have been at Sun, but I don't know. They were at a recording studio in the States, and there was a dude in the hallway painting the walls and the ceiling. And one of them's like, holy shit, that's Howlin' Wolf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing painting the walls? you need to come play shows with us. And so they brought him on to a handful of different untelevised gigs, but also televised gigs. And they're like, this is one of the main guys that's the reason that we exist.
Yeah.
Because they were so obsessed with all that blues music. And am I the biggest Stones fan in the world? No, but I got to give them props because cats like Zeppelin didn't credit specifically Howlin' Wolf, that song The Killing Floor, just so I don't have to hum the groove, that if I can play it.
Yeah.
No, that's Crossroads. Sorry.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So, Zeppelin called that the Lemon Song.
Okay.
Right. Even to the point, and it was so egregious. So that is originally The Killing Floor by Howlin' Wolf, and it's so fucking egregious that at one point Robert Plant even goes, "Down on this killing floor." It's like, motherfucker, you didn't even change the lyric. And zero credit was given until they were sued decades later.
Yeah.
Now, did the Stones do covers? Yes. But they also credited the original authors of the tune.
Exactly.
They never said that they wrote something when they didn't. And I give massive
Did
props
Bill Haley in his comments credit, who was it? Big Joe Turner for Shake, Rattle, and Roll?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good piece of trivia. I have no idea.
We can look it up.
We could look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, we're only 40 minutes in. We got tons of time. So, like, that would be something to investigate for sure. But, like, if you are a classic rock fan, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm such a nerd that I feel like it's a responsibility to know where it came from. And I also want to make sure that I never pretend like I invented something when I didn't, you know? And literally everything that I've ever written or recorded my whole life has been so heavily inspired by other players that have been inspired by other players who were inspired by other players.
Dead disco, dead funk, dead rock and roll, remodel, everything's been done. Emily Haynes metric. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Yeah.
So, and I just, I think there's a responsibility for anybody coming up to not pretend. Now, there's nothing wrong with drawing inspiration. How else are you gonna? How else are you gonna learn and grow?
Yeah, but credit it. Always credit it.
Yeah, especially if something is directly ripped, right? Like, do you know the band Clutch?
I've heard of Clutch. I don't really know.
So they've got this great song. I think it's great anyway. It's called Electric Worry, and it's like the main riff is this like.
Oh, okay. That's super familiar.
Yeah. And the chorus is bang, 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 bang. Vamonos, vamonos. Bang, bang, bang. Vamonos, vamonos. And he's like, yeah, I took that from Boom Boom. And he's like, I would never pretend like I didn't, because how could you? And he's, and he's said that in Neil Fallon is the vocalist's name, the dude that came up with the initial bit for that tune. Okay. Obviously, the rest of the band contributed and stuff, but they're all big blues fans. Yeah. He's like, here, check this shit out.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
There we go.
And they, they're not afraid. And I don't understand why people have that aversion to saying, like, yeah, I got this idea from over here. There's nothing wrong with it. So I say all that to come back to your writing process.
Yeah, my writing process. Heavily influenced by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. So I give credit there. I haven't really lifted any samples or anything from them. But at the same time, I owe a lot of my style of rap to them. Just give you, if I may, like side by each, give you an example of their rhyming and my rhyming.
I would love that.
So this is Melly Mel on Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five's The Message. A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he is frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through. You'll grow up in the ghetto, live in second rate, and your eyes will sing a song of deep hate. The places you play and where you stay looks like one great big alleyway. Okay, so that's Melly Mel from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. And here's me in Aiden and Abetting. Crack Snapple with a pack of camels. Caution at Sandy, supple on the mantle. Housecoat slick, third eye open, beat so thick, Brody's cold spoken. Arizona, this tea's a coyote, coming from a wolf and you speak like a pony. I tell the grease your dead'll increase, soft but crunchy tempura release. It's nothing but love, but you're glued to the hub, handful of pomade, Mercury retrograde. I'm stiff, a maiden, frustrated, a maiden. You're on Technicolor, hickory sticks in my burger. So it's a lot of like assonance, rhymes between words in the middle of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of effort to like really push the flow through the language.
Sure.
You know, it's not a question of just trying to achieve a rhyme. It's a question of like rhymes on rhymes on rhymes.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you can hear it too. Like, and that is something that I like a lot when people do that. A few weeks ago, a friend of mine, Chantel Daniels, she's a poet. She's the first poet we've had on the show. I mean, strictly a poet, like not attached. Because I actually made this comparison when she was on. The lyrics to me should be poetry, and I think it's kind of hard to argue that that they're not. Yeah. As soon as you strip the music away, now it's just spoken word.
Yeah.
You know? So, but,
or just listen to Leonard Cohen.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. 'Cause hell of a writer, not much of a singer, but that motherfucker can write.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
It gets you right there.
Oh, dude. Like to this day, one of the greatest lyrics ever written is Hallelujah.
Yeah.
It is genius.
It's absolutely
and
genius.
also he's put out how many books of poetry has that dude put out?
Several.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
few,
at least a few, and they're great. I have one at home. It's fucking awesome. And she was reading her stuff on the show. We were talking about how she's got atypical rhyme. I call it hurricane pain when people just have the last line of each stanza rhyming. And you're like, please don't do that. That's okay. But she was doing basically what you're talking about, having the interior rhymes as well as you know, across maybe multiple lines. It's like, okay, this one is going to connect with this one later, and having that sort of idea, I think is it's a more I'm trying to think of the right word to say. I don't want to say it's a more mature way of writing, but because I don't want to say the other way is immature, but it just seems a little.
It's
green.
like there's a bit of complexity, a bit of it's brewed. It's been brewed. It's been fermented a bit. Steeped.
Steeped, bro. Yeah, so I'm a fan of that, man, and I do think you have a very interesting way of putting your words together, which is cool.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Because it's frustrating when, and something else that I do enjoy is that not everything's a simile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's so much hip hop.
Yeah.
Where everything is, I'm like this, it's like that.
Yeah.
You're like this.
Yeah. Yeah, like that song,
man.
My Dick.
Yeah.
My dick, like a big old highway. I don't even know. I don't even listen to that, but yeah.
I know the tune you're talking about. Yeah. It's like, my dick's like this, your dick's like this.
Wow.
Fuck me. It's funny for a few seconds. It is.
Yeah.
It is. I'll admit. Like when you hear that shit.
It's funny in like TikTok format.
Sure. Or do you ever watch the show American Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a scene where Steve stuffs a sausage in his pants because he's trying to impress people, and so he's stuffing his drawers to make it look like he's packing. And when he's walking down the hall and people are paying attention to him, it's got My Dick playing in the background. That shit's funny.
Yeah.
But it only lasts like 6 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's all I need.
It's a précis. It's not an essay.
Yeah. I think the whole song is like 3 or 4 minutes long.
Yeah,
or some
I know.
Shit. You're like, that's a little much. That's a little much.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I hate to say it, but it's akin to if you were to take a Yngwie Malmsteen tune where it's just shred upon shred upon shred upon shred. You're like, that was great for about 30 seconds. Now I'm bored.
Who did Malmsteen play in a band or like a different band, or was Malmsteen just like this like virtuoso who
like
does his own
virtuoso
stuff.
solo artist.
Yeah.
But he was a part of he did a tour called the G3 tour.
Okay.
That Steve Vai and Joe Satriani do every couple of years. I don't know if I don't remember the last one they put out, but it was very cool for a little while, and it was funny. They did "Hey Joe."
Oh, okay. The Hendrix tune.
Yeah, that's a cover.
Oh, it's a yeah.
Yeah, Hendrix actually never wrote that song. Hendrix did a shitload of covers.
Yeah, that's true.
Something just flashed. Hang on. Want to make sure that everything's okay. No, we're still good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good, great, grand.
Okay, we're good. Anyway, so they did "Hey Joe," more akin to the Hendrix version, and they all take a solo. Malmsteen's is technically very impressive. All three of them are very technically impressive, but Malmsteen just shreds arpeggios, sweet-picked arpeggios. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Neato.
Yeah.
That's kind of... And then Vai is more tasteful,
yeah.
but still maybe for "Hey Joe," it's a little too Vai-ish. And I know that's hard to get away from being yourself, but it's like, okay. But then Satch just plays a minor pentatonic over it.
Yeah.
And you're like... and really juicy blues bends.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
That is the appropriate thing to do. Congratulations, Joe Satriani, for doing the right thing.
Can I demonstrate something with the guitar for a quick sec? Yeah. Okay. So going back to my stimming on Pink Floyd.
Just in case you need a pick.
Yeah. Thank you. I would like to do a vocal impression of the solo of "Comfortably Numb."
Oh,
but
cool.
I'll play the rhythm in behind.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry for that. All right.
We'll have to tilt this a little bit. Okay. Just you both.
Okay. Oh,
you tangled?
I'm a little tangled.
Okay.
Felt like doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I want to do the, man, this thing is not holding its tune great, eh?
No.
But that, like, I don't know if I can do it with this, with an acoustic or not. So that was over the major version that way.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to get that bend.
That's a really hard bend, especially on an acoustic guitar.
Whoop. I can't get that bend. It's too hard to get that bend. Sorry. I can do it on an electric, but I can't do it on an electric. I haven't played that solo in a long time.
Yeah.
I forgot how it went. I used to know that song so well.
Yeah.
God damn. And then the second solo for me, when it's what's cool, what I think is really cool about that, couple of things. One, there's a key change right in that chorus, right? Which is very, very cool. It's going in between, because it starts in starts in G major, and then that A major takes it to when he goes to plays the A major chord. He's borrowing that from the key of D major, so they're kind of parallel keys in a way.
Yeah.
Because if you're in G major, you've got a G major chord, an A minor chord, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and then F sharp minor 7 flat 5 if you're going to the 7th extension. Otherwise, it's just an F sharp diminished, which would be like.
Oof,
and then
that's a stretch.
It's not that bad. And then you're back to G, right?
Yeah.
Whereas D major, you've got a D major chord, an E minor chord, an F sharp minor chord, G major, right? A major, B minor, C sharp minor 7 flat 5, or again if you're just doing the diminished, and then you're back to D major. So they are. It's what's called a parallel scale, because if you're playing D major, D Ionian, but if you're doing it from G, you get D Mixolydian, so you can kind of pivot from one to the next, which puts this really cool, basically key change right in the middle of it, which is fucking awesome. And you can hear it too when you get that.
Yeah.
And then
they're right back
when
to
we come back to the minor, right? Which now we're fully back to being based in D, because B minor, which is what the whole verse section is based out of, is the 6th mode. That one right there. That B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th mode of D major, and you get that really sweet, like, modal shift, which sounds fucking dope. And then what's really, really cool about it is the second guitar solo is over that minor section. So when you get that, like, or
there it is,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing that he does at the end there, which I can't keep it straight right now because I haven't played it in so long. But it goes to that. Everything's very majory in the, and not just pentatonic. It's very like major mode, like Ionian mode over the G section, and then it's more of like a Mixolydian thing over the D section for the first solo, and then it's just straight B minor pentatonic at the end. And it's sort of like in when in that doc for Dark Side of the Moon when they're talking about money, and he's like, it's in 7 and then just switches to 4/4 and then it's Rock City. The way he says it.
David Frick from Rolling Stone.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just Rock City. Yeah, and at the end there, it just goes Rock City, man.
That's a good impression.
Thank you. I do a lot of impressions.
Do you?
Yeah,
sweet.
Cool. Do you have a request?
In a sec.
Okay, sure.
We're
coming to the end.
Well, we're at the end of the radio version. We can go into overtime for the streaming stuff.
Sure.
But so really quickly, give everybody all your social media stuff where they can hear.
Yeah, at CanAedan on Instagram. It's a private account, but I will accept many follows. And also Trent Radio 92.7 FM and at trentradio.ca. Mondays at 5 is CanAedan, the eponymous Canadian content music show, and I often have great musicians on the program and other guests from all walks of life, prominent people locally, and that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about your music?
My music, you can find A Dubz, A_DUBZ on Spotify.
Cool. All right. Sweet. Thank you so much to Pet Rock for putting this out. Thanks again to Mad Sound Dynamics for sponsoring the show. And thank you to Treble Cock Studios for the space.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in overtime. We're going to wait 5 seconds. All right. Overtime.
We're back. It's overtime. Overtime. McDavid with the puck on his stick.
I don't know what that means. I know nothing about hockey.
Canada.
Okay, impressions. What are some of your go-tos, man?
I got lots. I don't know. Just take one out of left field. Let's see what we can do.
Oh.
Don't try to stump me. But,
no, I'm not going to try to stump you. But Jesus.
I do local people as well.
So the dude that I don't know what his actual name is, but he played Crunk in The Emperor's New Groove, and he was also Joe in Family Guy.
Hey, Peter, how you doing today?
That's not bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay,
not
cool.
too bad. All right.
He's got a pretty...
Patrick Warburton.
Is that his name?
He's Putty on Seinfeld as well. David Putty.
Oh,
Elaine's most of the time Elaine's boyfriend.
You are far more well-versed in that show than I am. Yeah, I'm not super familiar, but I love that guy's voice.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's great. I was about to try to do it, but then I thought better of it. Because it wouldn't be, hey, Peter.
Oh, there it is.
I want to go
there
and get a piece of pie.
It's a little bit
something.
further back.
Yeah, you know, you just pull it back a little bit.
Peter.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I'm not good at that one. The only Family Guy impression I can really do any kind of justice on is Chris.
Oh, what do we got for that?
For Chris Griffin, he's kind of like just a higher pitched version of Buffalo Bill.
Because if you just think about it, if you take Buffalo Bill, it's like, oh yeah, was she a great big fat person?
And then you bring that up a little bit. Hey, Mom, you remember that goldfish we flushed down the toilet? It wasn't Dad.
It's Chris Griffin. That's how I think about him anyway, but I don't know.
Okay, as far as my strong impressions.
Yes.
As far as my strong impressions, you got Barack Obama. You got to have Barack Obama. So it's like, look, I've come here to Treblecock Studio. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And I've noticed that Dawson McManus hosts a damn good podcast, which is available on Pet Rock Radio and streaming at YouTube and other streaming services.
That's not bad, man.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Nice. What else we got?
We got Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, no. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Roots. All right, so now, right now, what I'm going to do is like an impression of Neil Young singing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All right. Everyone want to hear that? All right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You're expecting me to go into Neil Young singing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I was afraid for a second that you would.
We're not going to.
Okay. I'm probably in the minority, not a Jimmy Fallon fan.
You know what? He soured on me, actually, because he made a joke about Canada becoming the 51st state, which was just...
not to your taste.
It was punching down. You know, that's not satire. You know?
Yeah. I mean... I'm gonna probably catch some flack for this. I don't really care what direction somebody punches in, but it better not be hack.
Yeah,
like
it was hack.
That's the problem.
It was
Right?
hackneyed.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, like some of my favorite. Are you familiar with Sam Kinison?
Yes.
Okay. In his first special, that dude is fucking ruthless and brutal and so mean, but it is hilarious.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, that's a great example of punching down
and pulling it off.
And pulling it off. That's the big difference. Right?
Don Rickles. Don Rickles.
Perfect
classic.
Example. Yeah.
Classic.
Man, that dude's hilarious.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Yes.
It's very funny.
Yes.
Very funny. Like, definitely not
Queen
PC.
of Mean, dude.
Queen of Mean. Queen of Mean. Oh, yeah. It's just like people like doing roasts and stuff like that. Yeah. That can be effective. That can be very effective. But you know what? Like, Fallon is not known for that, and when he tries to do it, it falls so flat. Yeah.
He came out during that era of SNL that I just could not stand. There were large swaths of SNL actually that I would just There were pockets that I enjoy quite a bit. Like especially the
like Hater. Do you like Hater?
He's okay. He was better off SNL.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he did serious stuff as well, right?
Big
like
time.
Barry.
Oh, dude, that's a fucking great show. But then the writing that he did for South Park and some of the voices.
Oh, yeah.
Hysterical.
When Wet fur.
Yeah.
Gets up there and shits his britches.
Hilarious, dude.
Steamy Nicks.
Yeah, that's right. Steamy Ray Vaughan and Steamy Nicks. Oh, dude. Like, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's been writing for them on and off for 15, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And the stuff that he did there was genius. And I don't know, I always liked most people from SNL. I actually quite like them. just not on SNL. Because they're not really allowed.
Chris Parnell on Rick and Morty.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Parnell in almost anything.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
The guest spots that he did on Brooklyn Nine-Nine were great.
Yeah.
His main character, Cyril Figgis on Archer.
Right.
Holy shit, dude. Hysterical.
Yeah.
When he was Dr. Spaceman on 30 Rock. Amazing. But, like, goddamn, dude. Just so many of them were so stunted on SNL. There were a couple of people that really did flourish because they just were uncontrollable psychopaths, like Chris Farley. Like, didn't matter where that dude was or what he was doing.
What he was even saying.
Yeah.
You know, like, Dawson, remember when we did that podcast and you asked me questions? That was awesome. You can't even emulate it. No, like, it's just, it's
I don't
so
have
good.
A Farley impression.
No, yeah.
Like, in some of the dumbest lines, like, they call me El Nino. That's Spanish for the Nino. And you're like, what? And when he and Patrick Swayze did the Chip and Dale off, like, that shit was hilarious.
Classic.
But there's, but one of my favorite comedians of all time is Chris Rock. Okay? And, dude, on SNL, not that funny. On it, comparatively.
Not given a lot of opportunity on SNL.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
crowded cast.
Yeah, crowded cast and what the hell are they called?
Featured players or no?
No. It's the censorship board for broadcast television.
FCC in the United States.
Thank you. Just the kind of shit that especially when Rock was doing his HBO specials, like, God damn, that was prime Rock, and you can't do that on SNL.
No,
like,
it's hard to, like, I do a very good Chris Rock voice, but there's very few things I can say as Chris Rock.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like you might be able to, like, repeat, "I'm tired," and then not go anywhere else with the bit, but like.
Everybody wants to ask me a question. I'm tired.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But you got to move away from the microphone.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
you got to get loud. Yeah. Well, and which is so funny too, because that's such a stage persona of Rock. Right?
Yeah,
like
he's really chill in person. Apparently,
yeah.
He's very controlled, very
soft-spoken.
soft spoken. Yeah.
But that character on stage is amazing.
Yeah.
And oh, God damn it, Canadian.
Russell Peters.
No, Mike Myers. Another example, like, okay on SNL. Like, the Wayne's World stuff was solid.
But So I Married an Axe Murderer is just incredible. Like, the first Austin Powers. I mean, like, even
trousers. No. Right, like, that shit's great. But yes, So I Married an Axe Murderer, one of my favorite movies. She Stole My Heart and My Cat. You gotta.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, right. So good. And you're right. Like, especially the first Austin Powers movie.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah. Luge lessons in Rangoon. When I was insolent, I was placed in a burlap sack and beaten. There's nothing like a shorn scrotum. You should try it.
British standard, really. Yeah, like, fucking amazing. And even the Wayne's World movie. If you compare the movie to the sketches on SNL, Wayne's World Part 1, I'm talking about. Part 2,
yeah.
It's like a really long SNL sketch.
Sequels are cash grabs, generally speaking.
Generally. Yeah. Terminator 2, arguably better than the first one.
Yeah, fair enough. Godfather 2. Yeah.
Comparable,
pretty good. Pretty good. Not better, but
1 and 2 feel like the same movie. 3 is kind of the odd man out, in my opinion. Aliens. If you are looking for more of an action flick versus like a suspense thriller, borderline horror movie that the first one was.
Okay.
If you're looking for more of an action flick, Aliens versus Aliens might be better.
Okay.
It's hard to say. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with that statement, but I'm sure a lot of other people agree, so whatever. Coin toss.
Yeah.
But, like, some sequels are pretty fucking dope. Others are kind of...
G2, The Mighty Ducks.
Oh. The knuckle puck.
Yeah.
When it turns the puck on its side.
Quack. 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 Quack.
Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. The guy that owned the team, his name was Ducksworth. I loved that movie as a kid. Have you watched it as an
adult? No, I have not recently watched it. No.
Did you love it?
I did love it.
Don't
as a kid.
watch it.
Oh, okay. It'll ruin everything.
Oh, dude, it's rough.
Yeah.
There are a lot of flicks like that.
Yeah.
I was a massive Power Rangers fan when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The theme song is the only thing that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing that's cool. If you watch it now as an adult, you're like, wow, this is bad. This is really bad.
You must call shenanigans on it.
Yeah.
Get the brooms out.
Yeah. Sweet South Park reference. Then there are other shows that actually legitimately fucking hold up. Like, do you remember Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I don't. I know of it. I just haven't.
Dude, it's a fucking great show.
Yeah.
I mean,
is that related to like the big like blockbuster Avatar or
the James Cameron movies?
Yeah,
no,
not at all. Okay,
no, not even remotely the same thing. So The Last Airbender is basically like a cartoon version of Magic Kung Fu.
Oh, cool!
It's really sweet, and it's the original story is focused on these three kids that travel around the world to get this one. So they're the four elements that are the like their versions of magic essentially, and this one person that's born reincarnate every time is the avatar, and he's the only one that can use all four, or she is the only one that can use all four elements. In this iteration of the Avatar, it's a dude. That's why I'm saying.
This sort of reminds me of Captain Planet in a sense. Like Captain Planet, I used to love back in the day.
That's a brutal rewatch.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It doesn't hold up the same way, unfortunately. Not like, man.
Care Bears, I think, would be still pretty solid.
I don't know. I haven't tried. I've been afraid, man.
You've been afraid to check out Care Bears?
I have, dude. Oh, no. Beastly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Woof.
Yeah, a hack.
I got a bad...
An absolute hack. He's a hack.
I got a bad feeling if that show's awful. It
his materials
it makes me feel tense to think about it, man.
Yeah.
Like, because I loved it so much when I was a kid. You know? So it's like watching the original Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Okay, with April.
Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah.
Although I will say it's really cool to know that Shredder is Uncle Phil.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, I did know that. I had forgotten, but I do
James
know that.
Avery.
James Avery.
What's his name?
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He was so great.
Yeah.
He was so great.
Yeah.
And, man, what a voice actor, too. Really.
Yeah.
And it's funny, there are times where you can hear it kind of come through.
Yeah.
It's when you watch it again, you go, oh, shit, yeah, okay, I hear it. And although I will say, you know what really does hold up? DuckTales.
Okay.
That shit holds up.
Okay,
and
nice.
Banger theme song.
Nice. Animaniacs holds up.
Yes, it does.
Oh, Animaniacs
Big
is
time.
incredible. Like, adults could watch Animaniacs from the get-go anyway.
100%,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
My favorite shtick from Animaniacs, or segment, I guess, Pinky and the Brain, which I think a lot of people are probably in the same boat.
Yeah, that's great.
Dude, everything the what was it? The Wheel of Misfortune or something like that? Good idea, bad idea.
Yeah.
And all those little things. Those were awesome.
Very, very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original Transformers cartoon is also a rough rewatch.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, the theme song is also very bizarre and like Transformers, robots in disguise. Do you remember that?
I do remember. That's all I know from the song, though. To
Dude,
remember,
it's so weird. You should check it out. I have a playlist on my phone of old cartoon theme songs, and just to, I don't know, feel nostalgic periodically, and it's so bizarre. For the ones that are actually are actually awesome, and other ones that are not so great. An awesome one, like I already said, DuckTales, but Darkwing Duck.
Oh yeah,
that's a banger.
Yeah, do you want to know a story about Darkwing Duck?
Of course
actually,
I do.
So I was aware of Samara from like the Treble Cock website or something like that before I did the song Aedan and Abetting with her downstairs. And I saw her outside of the studio, like walking up to the door, and I looked at her like, "Are you Samara?" And she's like, "Oh, hi," you know, like kind of like that. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, Aedan, I'm doing a song apparently with you tonight." And she's like, "Oh, great." And then so like on the shout outs on Aedan and Abetting, I yell, "Samara, I'm your Darkwing Duck!" Just out of nowhere.
I don't know, just cause. Dude.
Just cause, yeah.
You should re-listen to that song.
Mm-hmm.
The theme. It's
Let's Get Dangerous, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Better watch out, you bad boys. Darkwing Duck. It's so good, dude. And the bass line in it it's like this synth slap line. It's so fucking
like
rad.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And it is killer. The theme song for Tailspin, also quite good.
Nice.
Do you remember the show Hey Arnold?
I do.
Fucking rad theme song.
Nice. I don't recall the theme song.
It's like this, it's like a swing jazz thing. It's really dope. Great piano.
Nice.
Really great. Nice drumming, too.
You know what was kind of a strange theme song was Rugrats.
Oh,
Rugrats?
yeah.
I don't want to emulate it. I don't want to try to emulate it. It was like so really high pitched. Like I can do it, but it'll be really off key and terrible. And it'll sound stupid. But
dude, that's from so long ago.
Yeah,
I was really into Rugrats in grade 4.
Yeah, same.
So that's getting
Tommy Pickles.
Yes,
was the protagonist.
Yes,
yeah. And then the parents were doing parents thing. Chucky, yeah. Dee Dee was the mom. Dee Dee and Angelica was like the toddler who was just like a bitch.
Yeah, she was a little shit disturber.
Yeah,
and she'd always play innocent, doing horrible things to the fucking barely out of infancy kids. Like, Jesus Christ, what a sociopath.
Yeah.
And Philip and Lillian were the twins.
Yeah, Phil and Lil.
Yeah. When they would get mad, they would Philip, Lillian. So great, dude. I loved that show. Real monsters.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Dude.
Oh.
With Mrs. Big Head. Yeah. Oh, Rocco. You know what's really weird? If you pay attention to Rocco's Modern Life and you look in the background of a lot of the shots where he's at work, you realize he worked for a phone sex line.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like Johnny Bravo levels of like children's show depravity.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Check the pics. Man, I'm pretty. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Johnny Bravo. I haven't thought about that show in years.
Yeah.
That shit was so funny to me as a kid. I haven't watched it in forever,
yeah.
so I don't know if it is.
I don't know if it holds up. Yeah.
I don't know, but I remember thinking it was hilarious at the time, and the ridiculous hair and the whole like wannabe Elvis thing.
Yeah.
But he was like pretty jacked.
He was very jacked. Yeah. And the shades.
Yeah. Never saw him without them.
No,
I don't think anyway.
No. Yeah.
Man, what a great show.
Yeah, such a great era for children's television.
Yeah, it really
so
was.
Incredible. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what's weird that I want to put this out there because I can't believe that I've never addressed it before, but how much influence on my music video game music has had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like from like Mario, for example, or
just across the board.
Okay.
Not now. A lot of Mario music is very jazz influenced.
It is. Yeah, it's like based on like actual tracks.
Yeah,
a lot of the stuff.
Roughly, like if you were to take like that, that's it's swung. Everything about that is swung. Or especially if you get into Mario 2, that like.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But
yeah, dude. Like all that kind of stuff. Yes, but mostly more like RPG stuff. Like old, before Square became Square Enix, when they were just Squaresoft, they were the company that created the Final Fantasy games. They also created Chrono Trigger, which
massive games.
Yeah, huge. Are we the same age, or am I older than you?
We're, I think, the exact same age.
Okay, 39.
39.
Okay, yeah. So, do you remember Chrono Trigger?
I do of it, but I never.
I stumbled over that word, Chrono.
Chrono.
Yeah, which shouldn't have been a problem. But yeah, Chrono Trigger. I played a lot of that. Man, it was cool because it was like a time travel video game. It was really neat. Anyway, doesn't matter. But Mega Man games as well have had a pretty profound influence on my musical taste.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's why I got into Joe Satriani.
Oh wow!
Because there's a whole record that Satch put out called "Surfing with the Alien." And there was a Mega Man video game that came out in the 90s called Mega Man X.
Okay, yeah.
The music for that game sounds like it could have come off of Surfing with the Alien.
Wow.
And when the first song I ever heard off of Surfing with the Alien was called Crushing Day.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit, it's Mega Man.
Uh-huh.
And then I just had to learn how to play that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's ended up having a massive influence.
You know what's like kind of connected to this is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay,
Okay.
follow me.
Yeah?
All right. Stone Cold Steve Austin is a massive Rage Against the Machine
No
fan.
shit.
Right, and he went to James Johnson, who used to compose all the WWF, WWE music, and he said, "Listen, I want something that sounds like Bulls on Parade," and then that's where we got the smashing glass and the.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bulls on Parade. I think that...
Yeah. Yeah. Go in it now! Go in it now!
Oh, no. It's been way too long.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Microphone explode.
Yeah.
The fuck of the commode. It's a sure shock. Sure to make your body drop.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
I used to be so into Rage. There was a time, I'm not as well versed, I'll admit, and this might be sacrilegious to a lot of people, but I'm not as well versed in Evil Empire as I am in the first album, the self-titled.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when I knew how to rap and play
Mm.
on both guitar and bass every song off of the first album.
Can I rap a little bit with the guitar?
Sure. What
Yeah.
do you want? Oh, you're gonna play.
I'll play.
I see.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted me to play and you were gonna rap over it. My bad.
Actually, you playing would probably sound better.
What do you want me to play?
It's. I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah. Hit me with it,
And then you can like do some fills and stuff.
Sure. I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'll try not to fuck it up.
So this is okay. This is the pacing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, hit me with the groove.
Double plus old school bric-a-brac style, and shag we trust new fool trick and track wild. Kicking in the north end, benders and beers, non-alcoholic grassroots, beers for queers. Popping down the street to the only cafe, serving back sub to straight by and gay. Me, I like to sip on San Pellegrino, Limonada, Germanata, like a chick in the casino, like that kind of thing.
Cool, and it's just that chord progression?
It's just that chord progression, and then, if you want to jazz it up with some fills, that would be amazing.
You know what that reminds me of, man, is Beck.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a real Beck feel.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Jeff Beck.
No,
like,
but Beck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Beck, the
like
one named Beck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Okay. Oh, is it longer on the E?
Yeah, longer on the E. There we go. Check it. A Dubz. Dawson McManus. But old school bric-a-brac style. And check we trust new fool, trick and track wild. Kicking in the north end, benders and beers. Non-alcoholic grassroots, call it beers for queers. Popping down the street to the only cafe. Serving backs up to straight by and gay. Me, I like to sip on San Pellegrino, Limonada, Germanata, like a chick in the casino. A Dubz, the North Star wild child. Rhymes come in time and you know they're not mild. Rewind a cold climb in 1999, 69 ounce slush on the Friday night pine. The video dance trance and the Randy River shiver. Vigorous friction in my pants cause I wouldn't deliver to the prostitute clot in my grade 8 mind. T-Rex and me, semi-chum life, third eye blind. You You've got a long way to go. You've got a long way to go. A dozen years later and a dozen years greater, frozen peas with a waiter and a chronic agitator, making veg curry separations and commas in the back, syntax a hot belly mamas, brisket in the oven stinking up the place, throw up a Hail Mary all full of grace. Classy agitator rehydrates the pork, she's in the refrigerator with crabs on a fork. Now I'm busting my ass, it's much less than simple. I'm told to hurry up by the man lizard pimple. Yeah, you went to school but not trained in France. Poor agitator never had a mountebank's chance. Enough about the agitator rested in the back, animosity linguini on the cooling rack. Sat at the bar, guzzled back a few becks, terminate my employment with a breakup text. You've got a long way to go, 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 way to go. You've got a long way to go, 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 way to go. Sit on the computer next to rum and coke. He is a pro to the text chum ass bloke. J-Rock in the kitchen, shucking oysters. Matt Goody on the trap kit, trying to foist you. And if the agitator rested in the back, animosity linguini on the cooling rack. We're just freestyling now in Treble Cock Studio, bringing it down on the Figure Fresh radio. And I know I got pink on my shirt, and I know that a guy named Joe Dirt was played by the number one grade, played by the guy named David Spade. You've got a long way to go, 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 way to go. Oh, you have got a long way to go, way to go, way to go.
It just felt like that was the right spot.
Yeah, that was a good spot. That was. It's typically a 3-verse song, so that's
cool.
Spot on.
Dope.
Spot on.
That was fun,
Amazing.
man.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like Rage a lot.
Yeah.
I just talked about it. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This feels like some spots to put some...
It's kind of a Rage-esque feel, that particular track. Yeah. Yeah.
When it gets to the chorus, though, Beastie Boys.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That needs like a full, like, almost punk band behind it.
That would be amazing with a punk band.
It would be.
Yeah,
really cool.
I've done that live with a rock and roll band behind me. Yeah, I did it. So the last gig that I did before I was diagnosed with cancer was at the Gordon Best.
Right.
It was like September of 2022.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I had Isaac Shute, I had Brandon Humphrey, SJ. What else did I have? James Mitchell from the Mickeys, the lead guitar player.
Okay.
I think Adam Terrio might have been involved. Yeah. It's just a good like kind of hodgepodge band, and
nice.
They backed me up, and we
those are
we
fun,
did that
man.
Track. Yeah.
Like just grabbing a bunch of hired guns and shit.
Yeah, just some hired guns, and I'll be the man of faith, and we'll just go up and testify.
Nice.
Yeah.
Testify. That's another Rage song.
I'm good with the tie-in.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, that's sweet. That's very cool.
Yeah.
What time are we at? Hour and a half. I'm and also actually, what was the actual time of day though? I've got a hard out today.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's all good.
We're getting close. All right. I think we're probably going to have to call it. I'm sorry to cut it short for normal time like we normally do. Like for overtime, it's normally a 2-hour thing. But because of all the bugs when we first got started.
Sweat, man. No sweat.
We're going to have to cut her a half hour early.
Yeah.
One more time, tell everybody where they can find you and your music.
You can find me, Aedan Shaughnessy, at CanAedan on Instagram at CanAedan. I will accept your requests, and then absolutely find me on Trent Radio 92.7, CFFF FM, Peterborough, Nogo, Jawinong, Ontario, Canada, corner of Georgian Park Hill. Mondays at 5 in drive time. And, yeah, you can find my music, A Dubz, A_DUBZ on Spotify.
Very cool. Thanks a lot,
All
man.
right.
I really appreciate you coming
Dawson, thank you so much, man.
Anytime, brother.
Appreciate it.
We'll do it again at some point. I fucked that up at the end. Sorry.
I fucked it up.
There's too many things
There's
in
too
the
many
way,
things.
but
Yeah.
oh well. Okay. Thank you so much to Pet Rock for putting this out. Thank you to Treblecock for letting us record here, and thanks again to Mad Sound Dynamics. Don't forget to use the promo code 646 at checkout on www.madsounddynamics.com. Have a good day, everybody. Catch you later.